All right, welcome back to Fleckis Talks, a podcast, episode 262. Today on the show, Trump just wrapped up a successful trip to the Middle East, but that didn't stop the media from lying about it. Then we have one of the most egregious migrant clips we've ever shown. Very low IQ individual. Then in Cringe of the Week, we have some graduation celebrations and a new Apple ad that you're absolutely going to love. And last but not least, in Urban Decay, we have some more black fatigue clips that will make you not feel so alone with your frustration. All this and more is Fleckis Talks, the podcast, episode 262, ranked the best news podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words, but at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do.
Very cool. Very cool.
It's Fleckis Talks, the podcast featuring Richard Grabwood.
All right, one for one on the intro, as always. Guys, with everything going on with the economy lately, it feels like we're on shaky ground. Prices are stuck at high levels and no one can seem to afford anything, which is why a lot of people are relying on credit cards to fill the gap. Credit card debt is skyrocketing and leaving a lot of people stressed out. If you're a homeowner, you don't have to face this uncertainty alone. My friends at American Financing can help you take control. They can help you access the equity in your home to help you pay down high-interest credit card debt, giving you peace of mind and real savings. On average, people like you are saving $800 per month, plus they may close your loan in as little as 10 days. Call American Financing now. It costs you nothing to get started, and you can delay 2 mortgage payments, giving you a cushion in these uncertain times. Call 866-889-8121 now. That's 866-889-8121. That phone number is linked in the description. You can also go to americanfinancing.net/Fleckis. That's linked in the description as well. Thank you to American Financing for sponsoring. Let's get into housekeeping. All right. Thank you to American Financing for sponsoring.
Thank you, American Financing.
Love that new sponsor and very grateful for their sponsorship. Guys, we have a packed show, one of our strongest scripts we've had in a few weeks, in my opinion.
All right.
Do you want to get right into
one
it?
of your stock lines. You know, it's a Friday episode or the script's really strong.
The old line used to be best one yet, like for the Man in the Street videos. It'd be like, oh, best one yet. Like new video coming out tomorrow, best one yet. And then every single one would be the best one yet. But I truly believed it.
Okay.
So this is one of our best scripts yet. Okay. I'm not just saying that. I don't lie. All right, we want to get right into it?
Yeah.
It's Friday. You're ready to go, right? You guys are at work. You got some time? Yeah. Everyone's just chilling on the toilet or on their lunch break or with an earbud in.
Someone's blowing it out. One of you is blowing it out right now.
Don't tell us and don't tag us.
Yeah.
All right, first things first, Trump's successful Middle East trip. He went to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE. Lots of money coming in. The headline here, UAE to invest $1.4 trillion in the United States over the next 10 years. I think he got $1.2 trillion from the Saudis.
Yeah, that's a lot of cash.
It's a lot of trillion.
Yeah.
That's a lot. And
usually it's in the billions, but you go to the Middle East, you start acting like a king, like a prince, and Trump's good at the Middle East.
Yeah, they like him and he likes it.
And he likes the gold. You know, he's kind of like an oil king too. You look at his apartment, you know, where he lives, his penthouse, it's all gold and stuff. They kind of have an understanding.
Yeah.
The Saudi types.
Oh, yeah. They like the Gaudi.
He called it palace. He walked into one of their palaces, which is like, you know, a religious palace. He goes, oh, nice house. So
like 200-foot ceilings.
They all like
this is sick.
And I remember Biden went to Saudi Arabia and like there was nobody to greet him at the plane. It was like a real shabby thing. They roll out the carpet for Trump. So
they did. They have the horses and everything. And then obviously another good part of it was the de-escalation with Iran.
Yeah.
So that's looking good. It's like early stages, but it's starting to look good. The Warhawks are mad about that. Mm-hmm. So I'm kind of expecting a false flag out of this. But in the meantime, things are looking good. One of the guys Trump met with was actually on our FBI terrorist watch list or something. Can you give that a read?
Yeah, so this guy said, regardless of the politics of it, I find it objectively hilarious that the United States has a $10 million bounty on this guy's head for being a member of Al-Qaeda and the president of the United States is doing photo ops with the exact same dude.
That's what I like. Redemption arc. Welcome back into the fold. Sorry for trying to kill you for $10 million.
Yeah, we had a little bounty, a little misunderstanding. And I don't know, who is this guy? Was he a Syrian? I think had to do with the Syrian.
I think he's a Syrian, yeah.
So they lifted sanctions on Syria. Syria's been like a destroyed country, sanctioned, to hell, basically, and it's a not working country. So, I mean, at what point do you kind of just reset?
Let's reset and let's start fresh.
Let's see how it goes. We're not saying you're free forever. It's still the United States, but I don't know.
Yeah, Trump still could bomb the shit out of you. You know that.
Exactly. 10 million bounty on your head versus let's see how you do.
Yeah, right? And I like it. And as always, the media is lying about the success of the trips like they do with everything else. We actually found some funny headlines and a clip from Wolf Blitzer just on how they phrase Trump's success to make themselves not look stupid for lying the whole time. Can you read that first one?
Yeah, this one was crazy. Egg static news. For months, Trump falsely claimed that egg prices were tumbling. That fiction has suddenly become reality.
So the prices were tumbling.
Yeah. They tumbled to a lower price. And that framing is insane. They'll never give Trump credit. Trump was lying. He was a liar until it became truth, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's how it works with everything that they talk about. Mm-hmm. After years of Trump claiming that Joe Biden was a brain-dead retard, Joe Biden's brain-dead retardation comes into the limelight.
Jake Tapper actually wrote a book about it now,
Yeah.
Turns out you were right the whole time.
And we'll get to more of that in a few minutes.
Trump has no chance of winning. Here's why he won all 7 swing states.
It's hilarious.
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense, but it is hilarious. And here's how Wolf Blitzer discusses inflation.
Wallet. U.S. inflation slowing, I should say, to its lowest rate in more than 4 years. That, according to April's Consumer Price Index report. It's an unexpected and very welcome development that's defying economists' expectations amid President Trump's ongoing trade war. Let's go live right now to CNN Business and Politics.
So they're like mad about it.
Yeah, they didn't expect it. All the experts, they thought the trade war was going to do it. It really just slowed things down. Like people weren't making gigantic purchases from China this exact minute, right?
Exactly. And then, like you said, the experts. Well, the experts said, and it's like everyone knows what the experts are and who they work for.
And it's like the most important thing is fuel. Fuel is felt everywhere. Everybody ships it. Everybody needs it. It's used to process things. And if oil prices go down, then it pretty much reverberates throughout the economy. Everybody knows that. But people like Joe Biden or Democrats think like, oh, we'll just add another tax. We're short on money. Another tax here.
Exactly.
Mostly local governors, too.
And the fuel prices are going down, which is great. But people in California are showing high fuel prices in their social media posts and trying to blame Trump for it. Check this out.
Drill, baby, drill, huh? Whatever happened to lowering those gas prices, Donald? We need some answers.
So, let me guess. You live in California. So, let me show you what I'm paying for gas over here, okay? Because I think you need to talk to your governor, not Trump. But let me show you what I'm paying. $2.69.
Was that $2.59?
$2.69, $3.25 for diesel, I believe. And that's what I pay in Florida. I'm paying under $3 a gallon. California is still $7.75.
Yeah, in California, $7.75, and we looked it up. 45% of the price at the pump is from taxes and fees.
Yeah.
Freaking Trump.
Thank you, Trump. You've been in charge of California for 50 years. I mean, how long have they had a Democrat governor in California? Basically
since like Reagan, after Reagan.
The entire recent past.
So they try to blame Trump. You're in California, brother. And yeah, we're paying $2 something a gallon here. Feels good. And then we also discussed this a few months back, but now we're getting more details about it. The jobs numbers that Joe Biden used to come out with, and they'd always be revised down.
Yeah.
We found a very egregious example here. Can you give that a read?
Yeah, new numbers from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics show 800,000 jobs from last year never existed. The Biden admin routinely overestimated jobs and quietly revised them down time and time again. And the headline is Labor Department admits hundreds of thousands of Biden jobs were fake.
Wow, they just made it up.
How does that even happen? Yeah.
That's true power.
That's one bureaucrat being like, all right, 10,000 here, 20,000 there. We got to help Joe, right?
And you go to the media and you go, what's the number? And you don't have like a list of the jobs and like the developments. You just go 80000. And then
you pause, and you're at 80,000, and you go, and you add another zero.
You just go, here, read that.
But yeah, I mean, and that's part of the fake Biden economy, which was all from like pausing student loans or FHA not foreclosing on houses, stuff like that, and then just adding jobs. And then the jobs that we were adding were people getting a second job or foreign-born workers. That doesn't improve the life of an American. So fake, foreign, and just completely made up and revised down later.
Yeah, and that just shows the power of the people around Joe Biden. Obviously, it wasn't him as the mastermind of all this. He couldn't even stand up. And we actually have new developments there, too, like we mentioned earlier, about Joe Biden's mental deterioration and how bad it actually was. Can you read that headline and some of the context?
Yeah, so this is, again, a follow-up from the Jake Tapper book. Remember Jake Tapper, who was defending Joe Biden all the way through June and basically July, never really questioned anything until Biden was ready to drop out of the race. But it says, exclusive, Joe Biden's physical deterioration was so severe that advisors privately discussed the possibility he'd need to use a wheelchair if he won re-election. And that's the book by Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson, maybe.
Wheelchair? Like, what?
Yeah.
And then it's
that guy, he was on the sand. He was walking on the sand, so fine.
I think if he won, they would have just put him in a private room and been like, yeah, he's in here. Everything's fine. Yeah. Just send the executive order to the door. We'll sign it.
Auto pen. We'll auto pen it. And it's so funny because there is value in Jake Tapper writing this book is because now, he's a Democrat. People know him. He's a liberal. And now he will actually get the stories from the Democrats and the people who are in the room, right? At the time where some of this shit was happening. Yeah. Like, nobody's going to come and confess to Alex Jones what happened, what really happened. Yeah, we actually thought about your wheelchair. Alex Jones will be like, what? So Jake Tapper can actually get the truth. It's funny, but it's just untimely. There's no point to this. It's just kind of telling us what we already knew and suspected, but at a much later time where the importance is way down, right?
The importance is way down, but Jake Tapper's trying to save himself. So when people say, hey, Jake, you guys covered up for Joe Biden's mental deterioration, he'll say, I wrote a whole book about that.
I wrote the book on
What are
Joe
you
Biden.
talking about? I wrote a book about that. Like completely gaslighting.
Yeah, I'll read some clips here from some of the details that they're trickling out. They tried to figure out shorter walking paths, began insisting on handrails for steps up to the stage at his appearances, had him wear sneakers more often, changed his visual briefings before events to ensure he knew every step he was expected to take and guided him more carefully through the movements.
And we showed that where he had like the Candyland set up where it's like step, 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 step. This is the way you go. And then also he had an incident with George Clooney. There was a fundraiser. George Clooney was having a fundraiser for him, and then Joe Biden didn't even recognize George Clooney.
Yeah. You want me to read this text?
Yeah, read the dialogue if you could.
It said, George, the assisting aide told the president, gently reminding him who was in front of him, saying, like, George. Like, it's George Clooney. Yeah, the president said to one of the most recognizable men of the world who was actually hosting the fundraiser, thank you for being here. Hi, Mr. President, Clooney said. How are you? The president replied. How was your trip? Clooney asked. It was fine, the president said. And it seemed clear that the president had not recognized Clooney. And later he goes, George Clooney, the aide clarified. And he goes, oh, yeah. Biden said, hi, George. And this is when Clooney was shaken to his core. And I believe Clooney was part of like the op-ed that said we don't need him anymore. Like,
afterwards, yeah. He wrote an op-ed saying like he was shaken by his experience with him or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Clooney, I don't want to get too into this. Clooney's just a side character in this, but he was fundraising for Biden. But Clooney is dyeing his hair now.
That could have done it.
He's trying to hang. Well, I don't think it was dyed then.
I'm on Joe Biden's
George,
side.
and then Clooney's all dark haired, and it's like, yeah, duh, you changed yourself. But Clooney,
I thought it was George Lopez.
Yo, Clooney went crazy here. He was like a naturally graying guy.
He didn't have to do that.
You stand tall on natural gray, and then now he's got this freak, rent-a-car employee who's got his
when you get old and you dye it like that, the area where your hair touches your scalp kind of looks like dark.
Yeah.
And everyone just knows, like, oh, this guy's just painting his hair.
You're George Clooney, dude. You can rest on your laurels, you know?
Such a good point.
You don't need to keep innovating, George.
Yeah.
So, but I guess good on you for telling your story about how Biden didn't recognize you.
All right, let's get to our next story. We're kind of like litigating the past here with this. We have Joe Biden and what he really was like. And then next we have some election fraud stuff. Can you read this? This is really very insightful.
Yeah, it says multi-year analysis of identical blank ballot percentages in Broward County, and the time range is 2018 to 2024. So over the course of 4 general elections, 2018, 2020, 2022, and 24, Broward County reported 223 precinct-level entries sharing identical ballots cast blank percentages. So the values were rounded to 2 decimal points, so very precise numbers with at least one other precinct either within the same election or across multiple years. So they report the same exact number of blank ballots for 4 elections.
Weird. And then Liz Harrington summed that up and gave us the stats. I'm going to see if Richard Rappaport can handle that number.
Yeah, she said over 200 precincts in Broward County have identical percentages of blank votes cast across 4 general elections. The odds of that happening are 1 in...
No chance.
I don't even know what a number is, but there are approximately 12, maybe 16 zeros after that.
Don't even know.
Lottery odds. Worse than lottery odds.
Way
right?
worse than lottery odds. That's like Big Bang odds.
So that's Florida too, you know. That's obviously Broward County is the blue county in Florida for the most part.
But they have their scams everywhere, and that's just how they've been doing it forever. And obviously the mail-in ballots in 2020 were a game changer, and they really ramped it up and scaled it. But forever, the inner cities, they have their racket of how they get votes. They have their mail-in votes. They have their old people homes, the dead people votes. And then you have these blank ballots. I don't know. Is that canceling out people's votes?
It's disenfranchising rural voters for sure.
It's disenfranchising, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So that's something to keep an eye on. How about that number? 1 in...
I don't know.
A trillion. I don't even know what you did. Quadrillion? Yeah. Quintillion?
I don't know what it goes up to. I stopped learning about that. But there's no use for that.
Yeah. But it's something to keep in mind. That's the odds. All right, speaking of litigating the past, we have some interesting developments. They were going to free George Floyd.
Derek Chauvin. George Floyd is free. He's up there, or he's down there. I don't know. He did commit a lot of crimes.
Depends how you think it played out.
It depends how you believe, what your religion is, things about forgiveness for where George Floyd is.
All right,
he's not walking this earth. That's all I know.
Can you read the headline, please?
Multiple sources told 5 Eyewitness News that Governor Tim Walz, the Minnesota National Guard, Mayor Jacob Frey, and Hennepin County Sheriff Dawana Witt have all been briefed on preparations for possible civil unrest if President Donald Trump pardons former police officer Derek Chauvin.
Yeah, we want him released plus back pay.
Yeah, imagine restore the pension.
So keep in mind, there's a few things here. Trump can only pardon on federal crimes. Yeah. He can't pardon on the state level. So if he did pardon on federal, Derek Chauvin would move from the federal facility to a state facility, which actually would be more dangerous for him. Mm-hmm. Can you read some of the context?
Yeah, they just have all been briefed on preparations for possible civil unrest. When asked by White House reporters in March about pardoning Chauvin, President Trump replied, "No, I haven't heard about that." But yeah, they are being resistant, and they're saying the point you just made where he still owes Minnesota 22 and a half years, and he's going to do it either in Minnesota or somewhere, but he's not getting out. And Waltz told reporters no indication whether they're going to do it or not, but I think it behooves us to prepare for it. With this presidency, it seems like something they would do.
So I'm going to cook on this a little bit.
Okay.
First of all, Derek Chauvin, we're sorry we didn't personally help get you out.
Yeah.
What can we do? We're a podcast.
Prison break.
We talk about it. We can't get you out. Yeah. It's bigger than us. We're just a fat racist podcast.
We could add something to his books. We could give him a little spending money, add to his kitty.
Yeah,
whatever it's called.
Maybe we do that. Yeah. But I'm going to cook on this a little bit because Trump can't really pardon Derek Chauvin out and make him a free person unless new evidence came out that the FBI was concealing, and now that Kash Patel's in charge of the FBI, that new evidence can come out. Maybe
exculpatory.
Maybe it's a video of George Floyd alive in the ambulance on the way to the hospital after the knee came off.
Whoa.
That would be crazy, right? Mm-hmm. And then Trump, when he sees that, he could say, all right, I'm pardoning him. Minnesota governor, you need to pardon him too. And if you don't, we're going to withhold federal funds to Minnesota, kind of forcing him to do it. And then the summer of love kicks off. This sounds crazy, but I found this random tweet on Twitter. Can you give it a read?
An innocent man should not sit in prison. If he was guilty, Katie Blackwell would have showed up for the recent court case and Arredondo wouldn't have retired. My very close friend of 35 years at the AG office told me the FBI made the whole thing happen how it is.
Now, that's a random tweet on Twitter in the replies.
10 likes, no engagement.
But it rings true, and my friend for 35 years
told me the FBI made the whole thing happen how it is.
We can't make that up.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that a LARP?
So you might think it's a random reply, but I see that and I'm like, ooh, that hits the
Rings true meter?
The rings true vibrational meter. And if it happens the way you explained, where the FBI forced it to happen, maybe the new evidence comes out, Kash Patel releases it, and then what do? You send Stephen Miller out to explain it.
Yeah. Stephen Miller hosts a press conference and he goes, no, Susan, let me explain. Yeah.
We have a video here, and once there's a new video, then everyone gets out, and maybe he does get back pay, and then the summer of love, unfortunately, kicks off. All right, let's move on to our next story. Carmelo Anthony, the guy who killed Austin Metcalf for no reason.
Yeah, track meet stabber.
Track meet stabber. He is going to be walking at graduation.
Yeah, Austin Metcalf's killer, Carmelo Anthony, will be allowed to graduate Centennial High School despite his first-degree murder charge. And I don't know if he's going to walk. I don't know if that, you kind of implied that.
I read that and just assumed that he's going to be wearing the gown and they're going to say, Carmelo Anthony, and then the crowd's going to cheer.
At my high school, if you got caught drinking at prom, you couldn't walk.
That's a good point.
If you stab someone in the chest, I got to assume they're going to just sneak him the diploma.
That's a good point.
But they're allowing him to graduate. Obviously, he missed work or he missed tests. I don't know if you have finals at high school.
And it's interesting if you
know
think about
I mean?
it.
He hasn't done everything, and I don't think he's been in class.
Yeah, I don't know.
So they're just letting him go, right?
They're just letting him graduate. But imagine they read his name. Do you think the crowd cheers or boos or nothing?
Boos.
I think the crowd cheers.
What crowd?
The crowd at the graduation.
I don't think so, man.
I think they do. And like George Floyd, the criminal is the hero.
The black people who gave him money, they're from all over the country. I think everybody who's local hates his guts.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope that's the case. All right, let's get to our next story. More political stuff. The Democratic outlook for the future of the party in general. Can you read that headline?
Yeah, Democrats now say Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is the leader of the Democratic Party among those who gave a name, and this is a coefficient poll. Jasmine Crockett comes in at third.
I kind of like that.
There's nobody. The bench is so not deep. Where's Gavin Newsom? Gavin Newsom's been quiet recently. Felt like he was testing the waters during that Biden time.
Yeah.
And then he faded away.
He did, and I don't understand why. But
So-
AOC's 1, Bernie's 2, but he's obviously too old to run for president again.
Yep.
And then third is Jasmine Crockett. AOC, Jasmine Crockett ticket, please.
Yeah, that would be insane. That would be an easy win unless, they were up the machine. Pete Buttigieg is making a move here, too. I've been seeing him. You know how we've talked about AOC kind of doing rallies and having that upward film angle and trying to look presidential. Pete Buttigieg is on his little tour, too. He's doing some stuff.
Yeah, he's growing a beard.
Yeah, hell yeah.
What, he's growing a beard and trying to be like a normal guy. And remember Tim Walz did that, too? Like, I'll just appeal to the everyday man. Yeah. It doesn't work. I think the Democrats should just, that guy in the dress, the twink in the dress with the beard who looks like Anomaly?
Yeah.
They should just run a guy like that.
Yeah.
And go, hey,
Queer Eye for the Straight Guy?
Yeah, the Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. Run someone like that, a guy in a dress, and then gays will organize. Gays like to have little parties. They like to have little events.
Yeah.
They have a little political party, and they can go out and hand stuff out to people in the street. They should just lean into who their audience actually is, like low-T men and homosexuals and liberal white women, and then just kind of dish it out that way.
See if they have the numbers.
Yeah, why try to pretend, I'm an everyday guy. I was just chopping some wood. Oh, us Democrats, we need,
Yeah.
I'm just fixing my truck. I'm talking to you about Joe Biden. He's got what it takes.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Obviously, it would be a horrible idea to run the Anomaly Queer Eye for the Straight Guy. But instead of faking it, lean into Pete Buttigieg, I actually a slice of pizza with a fork and a knife. Lean into being a pussy.
Oh, I spilled some on my shirt. I know exactly how to get rid of that stain.
Yeah.
I put some baking soda and some vinegar.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just they keep trying to we'll appeal to the everyday person. Just appeal to the gays.
Yeah.
That's what you guys are.
I agree with you because it's almost more insulting when they're fake. Tim Walz, we were just what is this guy yapping about? Tampons in the men's room, and he's telling us about sports and wearing a flannel.
Yeah.
It feels insulting. You're right.
Yeah, it does. All right, let's move on to our migrant section. We're cruising right now. First is the story of the week. The South African farmers.
Yeah, the Afrikaners.
There's like 59 of them here after Joe Biden brought in 20 million illegals. Low skill, no skill, all mostly men.
Criminals.
We bring criminals who are violent. We bring in 59 South African farmers, families, children and women, men, people with skills. And look what Don Lemon's talking about.
About the white Afrikaners who were allowed into the country and what that means for the black folks and the black farmers, what's going to end up, and the black farmers who've lost so much land over the decades here in the United States because of the racist policies. What does this do? What does this mean? When you see this, what do you think?
Well, Don, this is a slap in the face to America's black farmers right now. Here you have the President of the United States flying in white farmers.
He's got horrible audio.
Yeah, Don Lemon can't even run a show.
And then he's got it going twice, so you hear the feedback from that guy's side because he's hearing Don Lemon. You don't even cancel it out and just use one set of audio for that. You don't edit.
No.
But they're freaking out over 59 South African farmers.
Yeah, and I'm not even like looking to bring in refugees. Like, I understand. I'm okay with people of European descent coming in. That's kind of how America was ran in the past. But I'm not even like, yeah, bring in the refugees. I'm just loving how stupid these people look when they're latching onto this and complaining about it, and it's clearly racially motivated for them, which is just insane. 20 million, 10 million, whatever you think the number is. They go, oh, that's fine. We don't need Border Patrol. Court date in 2029.
And then 59
Who are you? You left your passport on the other side of the Rio Grande? Okay, no problem.
You're good. Come back in 2027 for your court date.
Yeah.
Bring your cousin here. And then 59 people come on like one plane.
And they whir it up. They whir up the machine of hatred against white people, right? You can't have that.
Hatred against white people. And I was thinking, why does everyone hate white people so much? And I think I figured it out.
Okay.
Some people will say because of white privilege, but I think white privilege is a cope. And the cope is white privilege is how white people get success and attain all this wealth and land or whatever. But it's actually just white people are the best at navigating the world.
Interesting.
And figuring out how the world works, figuring out how farming works, figuring out how to build infrastructure and viaducts and farming and land with the water that comes down. Like, white people just figured it out the best, and everyone else is just jealous.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a jealousy, and then they attribute it more to like colonialism or a racist past instead of being like, that guy's got a sweet piece of property and all his family's really happy and he really figured it out.
Oh, so, yeah, running water, and he hits a switch and the lights go on because he's white. And it's like, we figured it out.
But he did colonialism, so I can be justifiably pissed.
Everyone's just jealous. They can't figure it out.
I agree.
And then Matt Walsh had a good tweet about this subject, the South African farmers. Can you read that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of talking and discussion about who's native and who is from where, right? And Matt Walsh said, remember, folks, white South Africans don't belong in South Africa even after 400 years. White Americans are invaders in America even after 500 years. But the third world illegal migrant who got here last Tuesday is just as American as anyone else. And if you call him an invader, you're racist.
Yeah, that's what we're dealing with. That summed it up.
Yeah, it's all wordplay. It's all double standards. And I don't know. It's weird that Democrats couldn't just kind of ignore this issue. They had to make it a hypocrisy piece for them. Migrants are an issue for you? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, it's just so stupid to me. So
I agree. All right, let's get to our next clip, which is the most egregious migrant clip maybe ever. Mm-hmm. This guy is getting interviewed, and he's from some African country, and he's trying to come to the UK, and listen to his reason for why he should be there.
Why should English people pay for you to have a house?
Maybe they give me house, they give me anything I can need, they give me.
Just give it?
Yeah.
Why?
Because people in England is perfect.
Oh, so you think we're all rich people?
Yes.
He wants it because give it to me. Give me anything I could need.
he mumbles some African language and says, give me house, right?
At least he's honest, and I believe him.
Yeah.
It's like
that's his understanding of the world, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like, that's what he's learned to expect. That's what he's been told's gonna happen. And he's not high Q enough to like worry about how he might appear on TV to the people that are supposed to be giving him this stuff. He kind of just says, yeah, I want, you give, I take.
He's not even smart enough to kind of say, well, I've lived a hard life and I deserve a little bit of a jump start. He just goes, give me house. Right?
My brother is sick.
Yeah.
You know, like make up some story.
War in my home country. Like you can obviously tug at the heartstrings of leftists in the UK and any Western country, but obviously he's not smart enough to do that. He only knows a few words, and give me are one of the first two words he learned.
Why do you deserve a house? I want the house.
Yeah, house is pretty good. House is fun.
And he couldn't even string a sentence together. I actually found a meme or like a post about a monkey who made a better sentence than him, 16 words long.
Yeah, this was a chimpanzee who I think was a famous one who they taught sign language.
Yeah.
And he said Nim's longest sentence was the 16-word long, give orange, me give, eat orange, me eat orange, give me eat orange, give me you.
That's pretty good. I mean, it's similar.
Similar levels of articulation there, I would say.
Yeah. And keep in mind, there are billions of people like that guy.
Yeah, there's no way.
And the UK is an island the size of like Oregon.
Yeah.
And what's going to happen? Is he going to come and assimilate and follow all of the laws? Or is he going to strong arm an old lady, steal her purse, and pull coins out of the fountain?
Yeah, and I wonder if that give me attitude extends to women as well. What about the UK women? He goes, give me, and he's holding a knife in a dark alley all of a sudden, and he still knows the words give me.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll be able to control himself. He actually reminds me of that pastor in that clip we showed a few weeks back. Can you play that?
Give me car, give me wife, give me children, give me this, give me that, kill my enemy, kill my enemy, kill my enemy, give me, kill my enemy, give me. Anyone that doesn't want me to succeed, die by fire, die by fire, die by fire, die by fire, die by fire.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then obviously no one in the UK or anywhere in these Western countries really voted for this. They didn't say, hey, I'd like to bring in all these third world migrants and flood our borders and take all of our resources. It just happened.
Yeah.
And no one really had a say. So that's something to keep in mind too. And then everyone was just told for the last like 40 years that you're racist white people and you're insensitive and you hate these other groups. So when it happened, they didn't stand up to it. And then it got to the critical mass point where it became too late.
Yeah. And I think people are not finally numb now to being called racist and we're like, we don't care, but they've already imported a lot of people.
It's like too late.
Yeah.
And that's a tremendous long game. Decades of like hitting you with the programming that you're racist and the only thing you have in your life and your success you have is because of your race and you're white.
Yeah, oppression, racism, colonialism. That's the only way you would ever have succeeded, right?
So they program that into you, and then they know, oh, wave 2 in 2010, we're going to start bringing in all these migrants.
Yeah.
And then Keir Starmer, he made an interesting point.
Yeah, it seems like he kind of switched a little bit on the migration thing, and he has a quote, "We risk becoming an island of strangers, not a nation that walks forward together." And he announced measures which he says will help control the number of immigrants coming into the country to live and work.
It's already too late.
Well, and that's part of it. You can say this at any point, and it's kind of like we've reached our quota already for all the shitty people we brought in. You know, okay, that time out. It's like taking a time out when you really need to reverse everything that's been done already.
Yeah,
right?
we're going to have to limit the number of people that come. It's like you have to start upping the limit of the people that are leaving.
Yeah, you already ruined London, right? So.
And then this guy replied to it, and can you read what he said?
He said, actually, those of us from different cultures have taught the Brits new ways to eat, drink, and make music together, to sing and dance and cry together. You know this is true because you live in London, but you pretend otherwise, and so you feed racism. Weird, empty sentence there. Doesn't really mean anything.
And it's accusing of racism, which is something we see a lot. And then unfortunately for this guy, his profile picture is him doing the anti-Semitic Jewish meme.
Yeah.
That's him standing like this. You can't really say things like that. You have to have a little bit more awareness. You can't say things like that that are subversive and encouraging of like mass migration of third worlders while you're going like this.
Yeah, white replacement. Like... and then
you're saying white replacement shit, and then your profile picture is you going like this. You look like the meme.
Like, honestly, that's a bad look for just you representing a group of people, right? Like, that's a horrible look, and then you should take a step back. That's kind of like the equivalent of the guy who just goes on TV and says, give me, give me. It's like he's fulfilling his role, and then you're kind of doing your stereotypical role, which is horrible, right?
Yeah, it's a good point. We'll get more into that in a few minutes. Institutions are taking part in the anti-white agenda as well, as you guys know. We just learned this new Harvard story.
He said, breaking, my team is now in touch with federal civil rights officials about Harvard's systematic discrimination against white men. We will assist law enforcement in any way we can and hope that Harvard pays a heavy price for brazenly violating the Civil Rights Act. And he followed it up with a tweet that said, Harvard actually wrote a plan to increase the proportion of women and minorities in certain occupations to more than 90%. It's not about equal opportunity. It's about punishing whites, men, and especially white men.
Crazy.
And here's a global executive summary of Harvard University, their annual plan from 2024. And it has in the right-hand column, this is going to be hard to see for you guys, but it says the employment percentage of all these like categories of jobs, like administrators, alumni affairs, like all these jobs. And it has protected class and their current year-end goal. So how many there are. So one example is 71% staff assistants for women, and they want it to go up to 90%, 89.1%. So they have these goals, and then, we want to get women up to X percent, and it's just at whose expense, right?
Yeah.
There's no natural shaking out. And it's interesting because on an individual level, you can't discriminate based on race, right? You can't, any discrimination or preferential treatment on race, one job opening, right? Black guy, white guy, Asian guy, and then 5 more white guys, right? Because it's representative. You have to pick that individual on, you can't consider skin color at all, right? It's protected class. But then you get that in a broad group, like, we just have a goal of 90% women in this one. And it's like, how do you justify that with the inability to discriminate one-on-one? And it's obvious they're breaking the law. It's obvious they're going against the Civil Rights Act. And it's so funny because the Civil Rights Act was supposed to give equal treatment for blacks, for African Americans. And then now it's just being used against whites. And it's like, that same shit applies to us now.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a catch-22, right?
Exactly. So everyone seems like, in institution-wise or on the personal level, everyone seems to be teaming up against white people, while other groups tell white people not to be tribal, even though every other group is becoming more and more tribal. Mm-hmm. And we have an example here. This is a PragerU influencer, and he's talking about the Shiloh Hendricks case. But listen to how he describes it.
You know, a woman who calls a 5-year-old African-American child the N-word should probably not become a celebrated figure in American pop culture. Unfortunately, that is exactly what has happened. So there's a woman in Minnesota, her name is Shiloh Hendricks. She accused this 5-year-old African-American boy of taking things from her purse. He shouldn't have done that, but he is also 5. She then goes on to call him and his parents the N-word. But that's not even the worst part of the story. Her GoFundMe page right now has raised more than enough money to buy her a brand new house. And if that is not a commentary on the tribalism and the political polarization we have in this country, I don't know what is. We have to get out of these echo chambers whereby we have a blind support of individuals, no matter how reprehensible their actions are.
So this Jewish guy, who everyone thinks is white, is telling white people not to be tribal, and it's bad. But black people are becoming more and more tribal.
Yeah.
Hispanic people are pretty tribal. And then are Jewish people tribal at all?
I don't know.
Are they?
I don't know.
Yeah, they are. You know, everyone knows that. Yeah. So everyone's telling white people, hey, you can't be tribal, it's so bad, while every other tribe becomes more and more tribal at our expense. Doesn't really make sense to me. You know, like you can't be a group of white people who coalesces around that, even though every other group is coalescing around being whatever race or religion they are.
Yeah, totally agree. And then this whole Shiloh Hendricks thing, it's not like she's a celebrity now. We're not the Hawk. She's not the Hawk Tua girl for the right wing. Yeah. You know, it's just like, here's some money. We're sending a message. Fuck you. We're not policing speech, right? But yeah, PragerU 2 weeks later comes out with a video lecturing you. It's reprehensible.
Don't be tribal, guys. Just get mowed over and ran over by the upcoming race war.
Just get steamrolled in the country your ancestors built. You can't be tribal. No big deal.
I'm a fellow white guy like you. We shouldn't, you know? I don't know about that. So. All right, well, let's move on to our final page of housekeeping where I can say whatever I want. Make sure you use that opportunity to tickle and juice the post, all the stuff. You guys know the stuff. Yeah, don't make me do it.
Yeah.
All right, our first story. I'm going to go quick. Some of this stuff is fast. Some of the stuff is random, believe it or not.
Shocking.
AstraZeneca, that pharmaceutical, Latin to English, a road to death.
Wow.
Something to think about.
There you go.
All right.
No commentary from me. Not good. Not good.
Not good is true. Next, you know how on CNN and all the news sites they have like the Chiron thing, or not even the Chiron, the bottom, whatever, where they scroll words and no one really reads it. Can you read out loud this one? Maybe you want to kill the audio, but read what it says.
A mile wide underwater volcano is ready to blow its top off the West Coast. Scientists predict one of the Pacific Ocean's lesser-known volcanoes will blow its vent in the coming months, causing 10,000 earthquakes in one day.
Seismic apocalypse, and CNN's not really mentioning it?
Yeah, that's not A material. That's just B-roll on the bottom of the screen. 10,000 earthquakes.
Yeah. Should we run this story made up about Trump, or should we talk about the seismic apocalypse 10,000 earthquakes thing? Let's go with the Trump thing.
All right, so be on the lookout for that.
And that's that's like the storyline of Paradise, that show on Hulu.
Yeah.
Where there's like a natural apocalypse and then everyone has to live underground.
Yeah.
Marsden's in it.
70-foot waves come crashing.
Crazy.
Marsden's in it.
Yeah, and then
we like Marsden.
We like Marsden a lot. We really like Paradise.
Marsden, if you're a show watcher, please reach out. Marsden.
Marsden.
SOS.
Marsden, please. Yes, and then I found this other clip. It's from a few months ago, but it's a tectonic shift.
Yeah, it's a fault line shift.
It's a fault line shift. And look at the right.
Tectonic is below. This is fault line. This is like on the ground. Tectonic plates are below.
But look at the shift that happens. The thing goes like this.
Yeah.
And look at the right side. You can kind of see the land shift. So it's going. There's some shaking.
And then boom, slips.
And then it just slips like 10 feet.
Crazy.
All right, let's get to our next story. This is a health-based story, and I think it's very good information for you guys to have. A new study discovered that if you live near a golf course, you have more risk of Parkinson's, allegedly.
A new study has discovered an alarming connection between golf courses and Parkinson's disease. A case-controlled study published in the JAMA found that living within 1 mile of a golf course was associated with a 126% increased odds of developing Parkinson's disease. And this number was in comparison to individuals living more than 6 miles away from the golf course. The study also found that getting tap water from groundwater sources in the radius of a golf course doubled the odds of developing Parkinson's disease. And again, this was compared to tap water from areas without a golf course. The risk of developing Parkinson's was 49% higher for the groundwater sources in radius of a golf course compared to private wells. The most commonly used herbicide on golf courses is glyphosate, which is likely the link in the increased risk.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And they spray the shit out of those golf courses, and the worst courses, I'm sure, use worse stuff, glyphosate and the Roundup type stuff, because it's so expensive to maintain. You cut your costs. You're not going to use natural ingredients. They're probably more expensive. You just spray it with fucking Roundup.
Yeah, not good. If you live on a golf course, I don't know.
Can't live too close, it's called.
Head on a swivel, I guess. But that grass is so nice, too. And you walk barefoot around in the evening, right at sunset when it gets cool.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than walking around barefoot on a golf course.
I know. It's almost worth it.
I know. I might take a little calculated risk.
And you get Parkinson's and Parkinson's is now Alzheimer's.
Parkinson's is this, right?
Yeah. So maybe not worth it.
Yeah.
We'll say if it was Alzheimer's, it's like you don't even remember that you gave it to yourself.
Yeah, you might as well enjoy the good times.
Yeah, this is great.
I don't know, just PSA, I guess. But yeah, there's a lot of shit like that. And then, asbestos, lead pipes, like all these things. And there's still stuff like you think we're immune to like, oh shit, we made a mistake and we put $10 billion worth of this stuff into the world. You think we're immune to it and we're not.
And it goes into the ground, it goes into the water, and then that's how you get fucked up. Yeah. And glyphosate is that key word. That's what's in Roundup. The boomers loved Roundup. That's what's messing a lot of people up. That's why our grains are so bad. If you eat grains and you have like a gluten allergy or you have autoimmune issues or leaky gut, stomach issues, a lot of it's from glyphosate. That's why people can eat einkorn flour and like ancient grains from Europe, or you go to Europe and you don't feel bad or inflamed. It's because we spray everything with glyphosate here, unfortunately.
Bad.
All right, next we have Arby's. They have a meme or post, a meme. Unlike Dad, our ham and Swiss actually came back, which is funny. They're doing
The
a
meme
dog
about
whistle.
Dad going out for cigarettes and not coming back.
They're
right?
dog whistling the right wing.
Yeah.
And then James Lindsay's not happy about it.
James Lindsay said Arby's trying to appeal to the woke right demo. That's curtains for them. Cringe AF.
What's the woke right?
Woke right is he's talking about people who are racially aware.
Yeah.
And we would fall under James Lindsay's woke right.
I like it.
Yeah. And
I'm a reality enjoyer.
George Washington would be woke right. Any of the founding fathers would be woke right, according to James Lindsay. Any free white person,
Yeah. And it gets to a point where it's like, James Lindsay, I don't care what you call anything.
Yeah. James Lindsay is having a very bad crash out for those of you guys who, and I don't even know why I say crash out. That's like a new Zoomer word they made.
New Zoomer
He's
word.
freaking out and he's panicking and he's on tilt, as I would say.
And he's like, I'm smart, though.
I'm smart. You're woke right. And it's like, dude, the United States was a white European country for a very long time. And we're not just some blank slate where I think he said one of the things, remember that one of those guys asked Charlie Kirk, would America be the same if it was 300 million Indians? And like the answer is no. It would be very different. But that like is a kind of a woke right talking point or something. Like racially aware reality enjoyers, you're woke right.
Yeah, that's a good point, and that's good to know. And I don't really listen to people who are pussies.
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of simple. It's like, call me whatever you want. I don't even watch your video. All right. Speaking of Arby's, really quick before we move on from Arby's, they're also introducing new steak nuggets.
Yeah, it's made out of squirrel meat.
No, it looks good. It looks good. I DM'd Arby's. I have more Instagram followers than they do. I messaged them, and I'm like, hey, I'd like to do a deal, especially about these steak nuggets. They haven't replied to me yet. But steak nuggets from Arby's, if that falls into keto, go crazy at Arby's.
Go crazy on some steak.
All right, speaking of we got the meats, is that Arby's?
Yeah.
I got the meats recently. I acquired 10 pounds of gyro meat the other day. Prophecy fulfilled. I think on episode 1, 2, or 3, like very early in the show.
The early stage of this podcast, we did a lot of gyro meat talking. Yeah.
A lot of gyro meat talking, and I got it. And it falls into keto. It's a high fat meat, which is great. I'm gonna be eating a lot of Greek salads with tons of gyro meat. 10 pounds acquired, came to the door.
There you go.
All the frozen stuff melted. It was kind of warm, but it's probably fine.
Let me know how it goes.
And then Jake Hoffman messaged me. Can you read what he said?
He said, I remember an episode you said that people need to warn you about too much gyro meat. So
that's
you
true.
Forgot that warning. You went off your meds.
I remember after I was like, guys, I'm trying to find 10 pounds of gyro meat. Why didn't anyone stop me?
Yeah.
But it's true. So thank you, Jake. Warning received. I'm going to not really act on that. I'm going to continue on my gyro meat acquisition.
You own your own mistakes.
Yeah, and it's going to be good. I'm in keto. I'm allowed. Next, I saw this meme. I thought it was funny.
Nothing more dangerous to a household than foil-covered, fresh-baked brownies already supplied with a knife. Yeah.
So true. It's
That'll
entrapment.
4,000 calories.
You eat the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's entrapment. Okay.
I have no self-control when it comes to that. Like, I buy something and I go, okay, here's this line in the sand. Chocolate babka cake from Trader Joe's. I'm going to eat a quarter of it.
One serving.
It's fucking gone. The whole thing's gone. I'm coming back the whole night.
You eat it.
So the battle is won or lost on buying it or not.
Exactly.
So, I don't know.
That's what happened with me. I got like these keto cheese balls, this jug, and I'm like, oh, yeah, keto cheese balls, protein. I eat the whole fucking jug. It's 2,000 calories.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's not good.
But I will say this. You know people drink the chip crumbs at the end? Mm-hmm. I stopped doing that.
Wow. That's a step. You order 10 pounds of gyro meat, but you stop eating the crumbs at the end.
Stop drinking the chips at the end like a pig. Okay. All right, next we have an interesting story. Nicolas Cage is playing John Madden in a movie, and we got a picture of him. That's what I like.
That's good shit.
Yeah, Nicolas Cage, like Tom Cruise, is on my actors who do it list.
Yeah.
They just get it done no matter what.
Nick Cage also went through a very shitty movie list, though. Tom Cruise is a winner.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage picked a couple shitty movies.
That's okay.
Okay.
That's
as long as you're aware.
All right, next, this guy is about to crash a plane, and then he recovers it, and I just thought it was good information to give to you guys if you're ever in this situation.
What, free falling in an airplane?
Yeah, like spiraling down, nosedive.
Mayday, 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 915 Lima. I'm in trouble. Mayday, mayday, mayday. November 9815 Link, Fort Dodge area, go ahead.
I'm telling you where I'm going. I'm going to crash. Mayday, mayday, mayday.
9815, let me say last known position.
I'm going in. Mayday, mayday, mayday. I'm going to crash.
9815, let me say altitude.
I'm rolling. Oh my God. Help.
Calling Fort Dodge, release the stick, go forward on the stick, and then slowly back again.
I'm level. I'm straight level. I don't know where I am.
9815 Lima, remain.
There you go. Release the stick, go slowly forward on the stick, and then pull back.
All right.
So if you guys are ever in a release the stick, slowly forward on the stick, pull back on the stick.
Wow.
That's good. That's just good information to have.
Yeah. That guy should not be a pilot. And I think like after he lands, they're going to be like, so Jimmy, you're really fucking panicked there, huh?
What happened?
Mayday. It's like, Jimmy, your license is going to be suspended
Yelling
for a
for
little while.
help and you're by yourself in an airplane.
We have an NTSB investigator coming to talk to you, Jimmy, because you panicked up there. You're definitely not a Sully type.
Yeah, not a Sully type.
Not a Sully
Or
type.
not a Flight Denzel type either.
Yeah. And Denzel was drunk that day, remember? And he flipped it.
Release the stick, slowly push the stick forward, pull back.
Okay.
You're level.
Easy.
All right, next, let's speed through these last two. The Vatican played YMCA. Thank you, Pope. Very cool.
Yeah. New Pope's from Chicago. I kind of like that guy.
I kind of like what's happening there, too. All right, I have a last point to make before we move on to Cringe. Are you ready?
Yeah.
How many snakes have you seen in the last year? Real snakes?
0. Maybe 1.
I saw 2 in 2 hours yesterday.
Wow.
What do you think that means?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing at all. Yeah.
I saw 2 snakes in 2 hours, and I haven't seen snakes since then or after that. 2 in 2. That's crazy. I also saw a cockroach in my house. I saw a cockroach, and I tried to get it, and it got away. So that's bad.
That's tough.
But that was probably the only one. You know how that is.
All right. What's your takeaway from seeing 2 snakes?
I don't know. I asked you.
Got lucky. 2 snakes. Whoa. That's statistically significant. Where'd you see them?
I saw one in my driveway, right by my car. It was just like hanging out in the bush, and then I saw him get away.
Yeah.
And then I saw another one in like a little saltwater pond that I was fishing at.
Hey, snakes got to make a living too.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but 2 in 2 hours, and I never see one ever.
Whatever.
That's a lot.
Whatever.
All right, well, that's the end of housekeeping. We're now moving on to Cringe of the Week. All right, our first clip of Cringe of the Week. There is a trans athlete who continues to dominate. We've covered this guy before, and it's track season, I guess, again. And here he is, and people in the crowd are not happy.
That's a boy! That's a boy! That's a man!
It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And then there's like trans fatigue. You know, there's black fatigue.
Yeah.
There's trans fatigue too.
Of course.
A lot of people have been pushed to the edge. They don't feel like staying quiet, and they're not like caring about the sake of being nice anymore.
Yeah.
And they're just yelling it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a big difference. Especially, we'll get to that in the racial stuff in urban, but there's a big difference between like 2020 versus now. People are fed up with all this weird social shit.
I agree.
Next, we have another trans person. Nothing crazy, but this person is a guy who acts like a girl, and then he's mad that the passport he just got says male.
You guys, I just got my new passport, which you guys probably think I'm crying tears of happiness because my Uber driver stole my fucking Prada bag with my passport in it a month ago and refused to give it back. I told Uber I was gonna hang myself, and all they did was send me the suicide hotline. I finally got it after having to go through hell to find all my documents. And after all my fucking psychiatrist appointments, my court documents, waiting years to have my gender changed. When I was working at McDonald's, fucking dumb, shitty spray tan ass Trump just changed all the shit to make And so trans people, if they lose their ID or they have an ID that's expired, it comes back. Their original.
It comes back to mail.
Yeah, you're a man, and they wrote it on the passport.
And you threatened to kill yourself to the AI Uber chat.
Yeah, the AI Uber chat agent that just needs to know if it's escalating you to a person or not. It just said, "Oh, suicide. I should send you the hotline." So, a trans person threatening suicide. Nothing else is new, right?
How about that energy too? I'm like that voice, and then like she's shaking. He's shaking, and
You fucking. What were you saying about you'd let him suck you a little bit?
All right, I never would
You
say
were saying that right before we started. You'd let him suck you a little bit. You're bad at that though, dude. And just a little bit. He didn't say long. But I'm obviously joking. But I don't think I saw a tear come out. This is like such performative shit. And like, this is like a payday for a trans person. Oh, I get to really, Trump finally did something that really did affect me.
Yeah.
It's a payday for them. So you got to make the social media post. I didn't see a tear. I just saw a man with the sniffles for a while, right?
Yep, exactly. All right, let's get to our next clip. It's the disabled person from last episode. We found more content from them. We also showed some in Bonus Land too. They're a pretty good pet.
Yeah, what did we show in Bonus Land? I forget.
That they're disabled, but they were too disabled to go to the doctor and get qualify or whatever.
Stuck in a doom loop.
Yeah.
Stuck in a doom loop.
So I'm disabled, but I'm too disabled to go to the doctor to get my
disability or something.
Whatever that word is for the doctor tells you you're that.
Okay. Yeah, so here is another issue. The last content, if you guys don't remember, was talking about how she can't brush her teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for getting my pronouns right. Actually, I do. I struggle with personal hygiene because I'm disabled. Using this as an insult isn't the flex you think it is. It's ableist. It's also classist because poor people struggle with personal hygiene. Working class people probably have BO.
Cool words you use to describe it. You smell like shit.
Yeah, ableist, classist, even sexist. You still smell like shit at the end of the day, and I don't care about the journey or how hard it was. I'm in a small room with you in your apartment, that you survive on disability checks, and you smell like shit.
You smell like shit, and the apartment has running water. The apartment has bathrooms and showers and tubs.
Yeah, this is one of those kind of leftist things where they care about the journey and the process more about the result. Like I, as a normal person in the world, I care about the result. Like I come over to a friend's house. I'm obviously not going to this disabled trans person's house. But you go over to the house. Hey, you smell like shit. I'm going to bounce.
You told me that the other day. We went for a run. And you're like, hey, stand on this side because the wind's blowing your BO and you smell like shit. And I went home and showered and I don't smell like shit anymore. I was working out and for a few minutes I smelled like shit.
He smelled like shit and I said, hey, walk on this side of me. The wind is not in your favor right now. Well, not in my favor. But yeah, so, but they care about the journey. And you see the same thing in like the case of a lot of leftist thinking, like homeless people, right? The leftists care about treatment and giving them clean needles and a place to stay and maybe a little stipend. And then I care about how many homeless people are on the street doing drugs outside this business that I frequent. So result versus the journey. Like you got to think about the journey, my BO. You got to think about how hard it is for me to scrub or put on deodorant. It's like, I just care if you smell like shit right now. Right?
Yeah.
So these disabled people, I don't fucking believe them. I don't know what they have. I don't believe them. We're getting to a place where disability is the same thing as like having a service dog. Yeah. Oh, you want to bring your Great Dane on the plane? I don't fucking believe you.
Disabled.
Yeah. You smell like shit and don't want to brush your teeth. I don't believe you.
You're fat.
Yeah, you're fat and lazy.
Disabled.
Do you want to move to the next one here?
Next one is this on steroids.
What do I do for work? I don't. I'm professionally disabled. And his job is
taking care of the professionally disabled.
He gets paid for taking care of me. Instead of doing it for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because let's be for real, sometimes taking care of you is a full-time job.
I don't hate anybody. Try not to. It's not good to hate.
I have a little hate in my heart.
If I a little hate in my heart for those people.
They're giddy. They're giddy. They like it. They like being disabled. They like the attention. And I see two people walking around. It's like the disabled. It's in your mind. There's nothing going on. And I think they're both trans. This is a guy to a girl and a girl to a guy.
Yeah, it's a normal couple. They flipped
Reduce
it.
the fractions, flip it. But I think there's a genuine like identitarian. You know, when we showed the general last episode, the victim general with all the medals. I'm trans, I'm this. They like disabled. It gives them another little thing. It gives them another little pizzazz. And then it certainly gives them some government benefits.
And then who pays for it? Us. So this other guy, I don't know who I'm pointing to.
Yeah.
The girl with the goatee, she takes care of the other girl with the yellow teeth.
Uh-huh.
And we pay for them to take care of that girl.
And they play house. They have fun. They play house. And then they're constantly, these are the type of people you see like trying to get out of a toxic living situation, GoFundMes.
Yeah.
These are those, this is who is doing those.
Venmo in bio.
Exactly.
Like, look at the clutter in the background. If you back up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of clutter.
They're disabled. What do you expect? They live like shit. They smell like shit. They can't brush their teeth.
They have some stupid dog with those like welts on it, probably.
Yeah. Oh, you showed up. Hey, we're having a housewarming party for Michael. It's like I showed up empty-handed. I'm disabled.
Yeah.
What do you expect? You know, it's a nice blanket excuse, gives them benefits, and they like it.
They probably have a dog that has like those like tumors that hang off.
Yeah, like a dog with the crusty eyes and then tumors on the hips and stuff.
Go, oh, he's 14.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
He shits on the ground and it stays there for like too long.
Yeah, the whole house smells like shit. All right, next, Apple released a new ad with an albino person.
There I am.
All right, everybody. Settle down. Take your seats. We have a lot to get to.
Magnifier.
Now, we have been exploring the journey of Odysseus, but I want to focus on his character arc.
Lesbian
How he
teacher.
Changes, how he grows, and sometimes regresses throughout the narrative. Born with emotion.
All right.
We get it.
Takes a picture of the board.
But also, it's like you put the phone on the computer so you can see what's happening in front of you on your screen because your brain's so fried that you can only look at screens. So you're like watching your professor's lecture on your screen instead of just watching it because you need to look at screens and you can't see. So, like, is that what it's for? Or is it just because you're an albino who can't see good? I don't know.
I don't know. Those glasses did look thick. But
for everyone else, if you're not an albino who can't see, what are you doing with this?
I don't know how this speaks to me.
You're videoing your professor and watching it on your screen?
And then most college students are just doing ChatGPT assignments anyway. They don't need to remember what was on the board.
No one needs to learn anything anymore.
Pretty
so
much.
I think this ad might have been worse than that Jaguar ad where all those guys were sucking each other.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems so weird. The albino. You get an albino. It's kind of, and I think we've talked about this on the show, it's very circus vibes. We'll get the freak. We'll get a random step right up, and watch the world wonder. 0.001% of the population has this ailment. Watch her use the MacBook camera thing. You know what I mean? Like they just get a freak. What happened to just a normal, attractive person? And then you get so focused on this, the freak. And it's I don't want to call her a freak. I don't want to be rude. Lesbian teacher too, by the way.
But they did that to us.
They did it to us. They shoehorn this person in, and they start with a close-up like this. Here's my albino face. Bet you never seen that, huh? I'm actually black.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Fuck, whatever. Apple doesn't even innovate anymore. Take a picture with your video camera on your thing, and then we put it in text, and then we can read the text now. They don't even innovate. Apple does shit, and, I have an iPhone. But Apple does shit that's like on a Samsung phone 2 years ago. And the Samsung people always complain.
That's a good point. You used to be a Samsung guy.
Once upon a time.
He was late to iPhone.
No, I had an iPhone and then I went to a Samsung and then I came back.
And then you came back.
And I used to have a BlackBerry too.
Yeah,
I was a BlackBerry guy. Did you ever have a BlackBerry?
Yeah.
You weren't a businessman like me. You never had a BlackBerry.
I had BlackBerry Businessman.
What was it? BlackBerry Chat? What was it called?
BB Chat?
Yeah.
BB Message or BB Message?
What was it called?
BlackBerry Message? BBM?
Yeah.
BBM.
Yeah.
Got it. And then you had that game with the bricks.
Brick Breaker.
You were good. I was pretty good too. But you were very good at Brick Breaker. Your ADD brain's perfect for that.
It occupies me, and I can hold a conversation while doing it.
Yeah. All right, let's end Cringe with some good clips. We have graduation. A lot of times.
It's May. It's mid-May.
A lot of people are graduating. Then when you graduate, you act out.
Yeah.
So here's the first example. This guy's throwing money.
All of these we have to play with no audio.
Because they had crazy rap music on it.
But this guy throws a bunch of singles up, and then another guy comes in and does a little chuck and jive.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Is that stunting?
I don't know what that's called. Breakdancing. Here's a flip.
Does a flip. Next, we have a full group going crazy. Can't tell if it's a fight or dancing. Looks like a fight almost.
Almost mosh pit-ish. This is black people mosh pit, but they
Some
all going
twerking.
crazy.
Yeah, they're all going crazy.
We graduated.
It's
Fascinating culture. I don't understand it.
Graduating is not even hard.
It's only sad if you don't. You know, everybody knew you were on track. They don't even fail anybody. Here's another one. It says, "Just take the diploma, bro," and he's just jumping like these are not even like good dance moves. It's kind of like freak out.
And you're jumping, and the whole thing is stopped because you're jumping, and it's like, were you number one in the class? Are you the valedictorian? And you're celebrating. It's like you just graduated high school.
All right, here's another. Well, I think most of these are college, actually.
Yeah, college.
Here's one. This is Howard. And a lot of these look like all black schools. This guy's freaking out. He's doing a little jump and jump, kind of the splits. And you know what? These people do it at Howard. That's your school. Go crazy at Howard. I don't know how you do it. The ceremony's probably 4 hours.
Yeah.
Parents are probably sweating in a gymnasium with not enough circulation. But sometimes they can go wrong.
Sometimes they go very wrong, like this next one. Oh, yeah. I'm an athletic individual. I could do a backflip.
This is not Howard. This is...
Didn't account for the road. Now you're asleep at the graduation on the ground.
So you went from graduating, celebrating, to knocked out dead.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And then there's a white guy who's doing it too. So we're an equal opportunity offender here.
Hater. We're an equal opportunity hater. Here he is. He's cringe. He's lame. He didn't take up much time.
He didn't take up much time. And he barely embarrassed himself.
Yeah. So I don't know. This behavior is very not good.
Not good at all.
I don't like it. There's a weird attention-seeking thing.
And then
You're in a class of like 5,000 people usually.
And everyone got their name read.
I know. I know.
It's like, you're not like,
You
oh.
only know one guy who failed out.
Yeah. It's not like, oh, and the graduate this year is Tyrone. And it's like, oh, shit, it's me.
Yeah, it's not like you didn't know.
Everyone fucking graduated.
Like you're waiting and you're a contestant on American Idol holding hands with someone waiting to figure out whether or not you got your diploma. You already got your grades. You already knew.
It's not even hard. It's not even hard.
So therefore, it's performative.
All performative. All right, well, don't get too down or too depressed. It's going to get a little worse. We're now moving on to Urban Decay. All right, our first clip of Urban Decay is in Minneapolis, I believe.
Yeah.
These are some Somali kids throwing rocks at cars. You can see here in the background. They're running around, throwing rocks at cars and people. Then can you read the post that accompanied this?
Yeah, it said, submitted from Northeast Minneapolis. A bunch of Somali kids are throwing objects at cars passing by flour sack flats in Northeast Minneapolis. 911 called multiple times, and all they ask is if anyone has been injured. They're literally waiting for people to get killed to actually respond. Squad 261 came by and literally did nothing about it. It took multiple calls to 911 to get them to even show up. The kids are starting to come back, and the people that I'm with don't think the kids are done.
Yeah, so the police don't do anything because no one got hurt yet. So the police are waiting for someone to be hurt or for the kids to cause an accident. And this is kind of similar to what happened last week. Remember that clip we showed where the kids stole a car right in front of the cops and the cops didn't chase them because it's not safe to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, if that's the case, then who do the police actually enforce the law on? Because if you're a kid throwing rocks at cars and you don't get in trouble because no one got hurt, or if you're a kid who steals a car and you don't get chased because that's not safe, what do the police do? Give tickets to soccer moms who don't put their turn signal on? Or they give tickets to law-abiding citizens instead of actually chasing down the criminals and people causing problems.
Yeah, an old woman on a fixed income rolled through a stop sign and freeze, Martha.
Yeah.
But the Somali kids, we don't arrest the Somali kids until they kill someone.
Yeah, we can't chase them.
Yeah.
We
So-
can't chase the criminals.
Once again, I'm such a seller on Minneapolis. And then also there's the gateway drug argument where if you never get in trouble for petty crimes, wouldn't that embolden you to go a step further? I stole the car, now I'm going to carjack. Oh, I carjacked, now I'm going to rob a place. You know, like there's just a certain
It's like a broken window theory for these crimes.
yeah, it's like an anarchist setting where it's like, I haven't gotten in trouble once. I might as well push my luck, right?
Exactly. All right, let's go on to our next story. A woman survived cancer 4 times, but unfortunately got shot in her home.
In the charming town of Berthoud, it was near this traffic circle at First Street that the unspeakable happened. At this home, 2 bullets went through a window and a wall and killed Jennifer James. Ashley James is her oldest daughter.
It just makes me mad that such a senseless act of violence occurred, and you never think that that's going to happen to you.
By all accounts, James was that person that so many in this small community knew so well. She had beat breast cancer 4 times and was now passionate about helping kids battling cancer too. She loved helping find animals homes and was a huge Nuggets fan. The bullets that investigators say came from a stranger's gun left a hole in the heart of this community.
So, technically, black people are more dangerous than cancer.
Yeah. 4 times she survived cancer, but couldn't survive an encounter with a black criminal firing indiscriminately.
Just sprayed it into her house, killed this nice lady who was a big part of the town.
Yeah, and then a lady who is doing positive things, helping kids with cancer. Said she helps animals. It's just a lady who's like kind of retired and on her own. And then just it's a leech killing someone who's productive.
Yeah.
And despite having cancer 4 times. You hear this story all the time, this type of story, you know?
Very sad. And our next story is similar, but I want you guys to listen to the name of this woman.
In your crime tracker, Shreveport police arrested a woman after they say she tried to run over several children with her car. We're told that LaJonkika Sharp faces 6 counts of aggravated assault after the incident that happened at the end of April. Now, police say that officers...
Well, I just wanted you guys to hear LaJonkika.
There's actually more to this. It's LaJonkika, which is crazy. She tried to hit 6 school kids with her car, but let's see if we can go to the end here.
...age children with her car. Police say this started when one of Sharp's children got into a fight with another student.
So her child got into a fight with other students, and then mom, instead of de-escalating or saying, hey, it's no big deal, don't worry about it, tried to run those kids over, and mom's name is LaJonkika.
So again, the lesson here, what we say, when someone's going to their car, they're not fleeing the scene sometimes, especially if they're a LaJonkika.
Yeah.
What's her name? Hey, that lady's headed to her car. What's her name? Martha, Marissa, Amanda.
Right. She's out of here.
All right, good. Cooler heads prevail. Oh my God, it's LaJonkika? Run! Get behind the pillars.
It's LaJonkika heading to her Nissan Altima.
Fucked.
All right, let's get to our next clips. This is kind of our black fatigue section, even though Urban Decay is pretty much all black fatigue. Our first clip is out of Miami. This guy, can you give the background of what happened before we show what happened?
Yeah, this guy apparently went to or tried to go past the hostess and wanted to just sit wherever he could. Like
he wanted to seat himself.
He wanted to seat himself, and they said, no, we're too busy. And so this is footage of him after that encounter. Walk past, and he impulsively flips a tray of probably 6 diners.
Yeah, it's like 200 and something bucks worth of food.
Yeah, and then $200 of food, and then another 35 minutes that a table has to wait.
And then you have to do the food all over again, so it's actually $400 worth of food.
Because this guy was an emotional toddler who couldn't handle being told no and do whatever he wants all the time right now.
Yep, let's keep it moving in our black fatigue section. This is a fight that happened, I believe, in New York City.
Hey, yo, get it! Hey, yo, get it! Just fight! Yeah!
The hyena's cheering him on.
Yeah! It's nothing! Yeah!
The phones come out. Spider-Man.
Spider-Man breaking it up.
Spider-Man and Tim's.
Spider-Man and Tim's breaks it up. He's a hero. That was a guy slept him in the first hit. That was actually pretty good.
It wasn't a real sleep.
Didn't hit him that hard, but you got him down. All right, let's move on to our next clip.
No commentary there? Nothing?
I think this is kind of a speed round of all the Black Fatigue clips.
All right.
You found this.
This, someone sent to me, a podcast watcher, and this is not just a general Black Fatigue clip. This could be a new clip. This could be a teaching moment.
Yeah.
So, repeating yourself. Let go of my phone. Let go of my phone. Let go of my phone. That's a huge indicator that it's about to pop off, right? That's the dumb trance before a fight. I want to show you this because this is what, and this is mid-fight. This is kind of like a Renaissance painting mid-fight between some urban youths. But I think there's an indicator here. They all have a fight face. And so I think if you see this happening right before, it could be the difference between getting sucker punched or getting out of there. So we're going to play it with no music because it's got copyright. But look at that. They all have that lips. It's something in the lips that they're doing there. And I think they went 6 for 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they all have that lip thing.
Pretty good.
So if you see that,
it's already on.
Danger's imminent. Yeah.
That's a good point.
All right.
All right, our next clip. This guy, he's doing a sob story. I got kids. I need to feed my kids. I got out of jail. I need help. And the guy he's talking to, who's got the recording glasses, says, "Oh, I'll buy you diapers or whatever you need. I'm not giving you money." And look how it escalates.
A couple bucks.
I can't give you cash, bro, but I'm happy to provide any diapers. I'm happy.
I don't smoke. Unfortunately, I just came home from prison. That's why I'm
for sure. And I'm willing to walk with you and literally get you.
I need a couple bucks, so help me out, please.
I'm willing to go to Target.
Yo, listen, bro, don't piss me off. I don't like.
All right, that's fine. Then it's good. It's good.
Shane, I will knock you the fuck up.
Okay, I'm sorry, bro.
Oh, you guys are black. Oh, you guys. Ooh, those is fire though.
Yeah.
I'll see you later. Look at them. Y'all want to help me out for this?
I'm willing to help you out by getting you some.
Nah, but I really need a couple bucks.
I can't give you $1, but I'm happy to help out in any other way, bro.
You don't want to help me a couple bucks?
I can't give you cash, bro. I can't.
The guy who's filming, the guy threatens to knock you out, and then you a few seconds later are like, I'll just take you. I'll go to the store and buy you something.
Yeah. You're dealing with a street rat who just showed himself to be not even have enough impulse control to hustle you.
Yeah.
He went from hustling you to threatening to beat you up, and he couldn't even turn it off. And he only turned it off when he saw the record button on your glasses.
And then he kind of came back to somewhat normal, and then you kept saying, well, let me just buy you the diapers, pussy.
You'll never make it.
You'll never make it.
That's one of my least favorite types of guy, those that like fake, oh, yeah, here, let me dap you up. Oh, that's funny. That's cool. They get disarmed a little bit when
the white guy thinks like, oh, I'm dapping him up. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm cool.
We're boys.
I'm in New York. I coexist with people. This guy would knock your teeth out if you didn't have a recording.
He was about to.
Yeah.
I hate that. It was almost pepper spray season there for a sec, too.
Oh, that's very much pepper spray
Once he goes, I'll knock you the fuck out. I think you just go, and you walk away.
3 out of 4 of these have been pepper spray season so far.
A lot of pepper spray season. All right, and then our final clip in this part, this lady's talking about the biggest issue, and listen to what she says about white people and accountability.
I think the biggest issue in our generation is white people feeling like they have entitlement over other minorities, feeling like they need to be at least in America, feeling like they need to be at the top of the food chain, and they're not. This country was built off of slavery. This country was built off of immigrants. This country is built on stolen land. Respect the people that you took this from and understand that we are telling you you are wrong.
How do you think white people can do better?
Sit down. Sit down. Stop trying. They don't feel like they need to take any type of accountability, and because of that, that's why our country is the way that it is.
It's white people who don't have the accountability necessary. George Floyd, Carmelo Anthony, ignore that.
Yeah.
It's white people that are the problem, and there's no accountability. It's like, don't you hear what you're saying? Don't you see what's going on? And then that's how they think. And then they say, on the other hand, oh, white people together is a problem.
Yeah.
And then they just steamroll us.
Yeah, I also like the phrase stolen land. It's like, do you think we're here for land? Or do you think we're here for buildings, infrastructure, roads, all the things that make a civilization? And who built that? It wasn't slaves.
Yeah, they say America was built by slavery. It's like the percentage of the GDP of the South that was cotton was not a lot at all.
Have you ever seen cotton being picked?
It's easy. You just pull it out.
It's really not hard.
It's not hard at all. And like, oh, it was built on slavery. It's like, no, that was a small percentage of the GDP of the South, which lost to the North. And the North's GDP really had not a lot to do with slavery at all.
And the whites were the first ever to abolish slavery.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point. All right.
You owe us.
Our final clip of Urban Decay is a guy who is at his wit's end and he's very frustrated and things get racial and he says some things.
It's an Uber driver.
I need to run back home. It should charge whatever it's going to charge on the app if you go back.
I can circle around, but then I'll have to cancel the ride because I'm already too far away. So I can loop back around, but then you'll have to reorder it.
No, because then I'm going to be paying the whole $13 again.
Let me know what you'd like me to do. I'm going to drop you
Go,
off.
drop me off, because that's stupid. I'm not about to pay a whole nother $15, $20, $13.
Do you want me to drop you back home or not? I'm telling you what your options are.
I'll just cancel the ride.
Okay.
Thank you. Never been through this that white shit, so please.
Okay. And nothing to do with race, but if you're going to act like a nigger, then be a nigger.
I'll be one.
All right.
Thank you.
And get the fuck out of my car.
I will.
Nigger.
Someone sent this guy $700,000.
Yeah, he needs a house. He needs a house.
In the beginning, she goes, oh, this is that white shit, which is what? Like being reasonable and following the rules of Uber, the company you work for?
Yeah, she makes a mistake. She says, I need to go back home. Oh, but I don't want to pay a whole $13. So her mistake has to be his responsibility.
He needs to lose money.
He has to eat some of the cost. This, what he thought was $13 for a 20-minute trip is now going to be $13 for a 35-minute trip because she made a mistake, right? And then she immediately brings race into it. And this guy had some fatigue, and he hit it. He hit those lines.
The paradigm is shifting, and we used to rarely think about George Floyd times. Yeah. We never got N-word videos from normies.
No.
We had the guy with the Burger King hat.
Yeah.
And that was
we held on to that. We clutched to that.
And that was the one guy, and it was rare.
Yeah. And he's part South African or whatever he
yeah.
said.
So like the
part West African.
We never had normie N-word videos, so times are changing, but it also makes me think it's going to be a very hot summer.
I don't know. I'm still not convinced of that. But this whole thing, this bad customer stuff like Uber, it's just full of people trying to kind of scam or get an edge or get an angle on it. Are we going to go into this Airbnb stuff?
No, we're going to do that in bonus land, but we are going to move on to uplifting gold, so don't get too down or too depressed. Is that all right with you? It's a good story. We're going to cover it in bonus land about Airbnb and how it's declined in the same way Uber has when it comes to being like originally a high trust app, and now it's kind of a scam app. Okay. It'll be worth it in bonus land, trust me. Okay. All right, uplifting gold, our first story. Pete Rose is eligible for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, is he?
Yeah, since he's dead, now he's off of the permanently ineligible list, and that's good. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
What did Pete Rose do? Gambled a little bit?
He gambled a little bit. He wanted a little more.
He shaved some points?
He shaved some points. He wanted some action.
You got to make contact.
Yeah.
You got to hit the ball, right? What did he have, 3,000 hits?
Oh, I thought he was the coach.
He was for a while, I think, too. But Pete Rose was like Mr. Baseball, had a ton of hits, great RBI.
So it's like you're betting on yourself?
Yeah, I don't know.
I actually respect that.
Yeah.
All right, next, this is a cat food vending machine in Turkey. And then in order to get the food to dispense, the birds are imitating cats.
So it didn't work, but they're imitating the sound?
Yeah. So they kind of know something's up, and it's actually more impressive than the migrant who came and said, give me. At least they know they got to put on a show and like act like a cat a little bit.
They're trying to work for it,
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, next. Chat, how can I get my dog to stay still while she poops? She poops so scary.
I don't know, but this is how big it... Oh my God. I hate... Yo, what the fuck? She's so scary. Sit still. Sit still when you're pooping. She doesn't know how to fucking sit still.
That's funny. That's uplifting. All right, next.
Okay.
Next uplifting, this guy hits a miracle shot in golf. He's in the water.
Hey, I learned a lesson early. I did one of these once. You never do it.
It covers you in mud.
Never worth it, yeah.
Oh my God!
I guess that's the one time it's worth it.
What a dream.
I did one of those once, covered in mud, not ruined my day, but I had to because it was like a gambling scenario, like playing Wolf with the boys. Never again. It's not worth it.
There you go. Everyone learns a lesson. All right, next, these two guys are up-and-coming content creators who I'm maybe going to reach out to sign some sort of deal. These are the content boys.
Hi, my name is Nathan Chaika.
I am Shivar Anthonison on TikTok.
And this is our studio basement, me and Dylan's studio basement.
For TikTok, yep.
And I'm just posting this on Instagram of me and Dylan. So we're going to be getting money on TikTok and Instagram too. So
once I figure it out.
Yeah, so he could figure, once he figures it out too. But I could show him how to get him to use it and get to learn it more.
Mm-hmm. Say something else. And we hope to have as much content for you guys as possible.
There you go.
This kind of reminds me of you and me.
Yeah.
This is our studio here. They have theirs. You're the guy with the wrist brace and the fatter one.
Yep.
I'm the more handsome but still weird guy.
Yep. And they're looking to make money.
Yeah.
I'm looking to invest.
What do you say we get a green screen up in that studio, boys?
I'm looking to do some strategic partnerships.
Yeah.
All right.
You could honestly like Farmer Bills or something. Like you could get them to do like $100 sponsor. You could be a middleman. Farmer Bill would get some exposure on their TikTok page, and then you would talk about it on the show. So it'd be kind of like funny backdoor ad.
I get them to do Farmer Bill's ads?
Yeah. Like you get them to do an ad. Like Farmer Bill would let you fuck around with something like that. That is what I'm saying.
Farmer Bill, let's talk about this. Yeah. We can have them do like a music video. It'll be really bad.
Yeah. It'll be bad, but good.
But it'll be so bad that it's good. There's something there. You're right. This is my idea, though. The pets...
Yeah, but you just want to give them money and then have them say Fleckers Talks. I'm talking about something else, something higher.
Well, that could be the next level.
Yeah. You're like, who do I Venmo 150? I like what I see. Who do I Venmo? Put my watermark somewhere. That's the extent of yours.
But now I'm thinking outside the bun a little bit.
Well, I am. I'm the one who said it.
But it's a group show, and it counts towards my idea of...
Say you're thinking outside the bun.
I'm thinking outside the bun.
Say, Richard, you're thinking outside the bun.
We're running out of time.
Who cares? That's your fault.
RFK Jr. Bit?
That's actually a lot of high fructose corn syrup, and you shouldn't be putting that in your body, especially because I used to do heroin with the Hines family. This is not a fucking joke. I got steamed broccoli right here. Put that inside your asshole. Did you see that air fryer? That's a demon. That's a robot from the CIA. It's gotta be healthy. It's 2025. Nuclear war is coming. Listen to me. Get it in your asshole. Put the broccoli in your fucking asshole. Do you want to know why it's red?
I didn't realize he was cursing like that.
Yeah, I don't respect that. That was not that good of a bit. The voice wasn't even on point. My RFK was better than that. So.
Yeah, that was a bad one. Yep. That's not uplifting.
Nope.
You
guys ignore that.
It's too cheap to curse and say, "Oh, put it in your asshole."
Put the broccoli in your ass. Yeah.
It's not funny. You could have thought something better.
All right. Urban Decay.
Yeah. Urban Decay. All right, that's kind of the end of the show.
You want to play this last one?
Yeah, but it's a little long. How long is it?
Nah, forget it.
It's a little too long.
You botched it again. Uplifting Gold, you botched it again.
Well, the food machine for the cats that the birds were using.
Got one. You got one.
The scary poop dog was funny. The miracle golf shot was actually great. The content boys are something to cook there.
Okay.
Pete Rose.
All right, we don't need to relitigate everything.
All right, the show is over. Thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff.
Thank you for watching all the way.
Thank you for watching all the way through. Mm-hmm. And we have a special birthday shout out. Even though we're not really doing shout outs anymore, we do have a special one for the people that are close to the Fleckers family, the Fleckers Universe watchers. Hannah, a.k.a. H.M. Danielson from IG. You know her.
Yeah.
Artist, her and Jamie, Jam West. great artists. It's her birthday, so happy birthday, Hannah. Thank you for the Rob Smith picture that you and Jamie made for me. It's literally hanging on my wall, Rob with the ceviche. Hope it's a great birthday. Thank you guys for watching all the way through. Join Bonusland, FleckisTalks.com for 30 extra minutes right now. We'll be there with some great clips that we didn't get to today. And have a nice weekend. Go outside, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
Have a nice weekend, everybody. Botched it.
See you on Tuesday.